And I guess I'm having a hard time articulating because it's not just related to my disability. I mean, think about it. If you're dealing with 5 women, it's cunning and it's bitchy and it's manipulative, and you don't know what there. But I think my disability always either I throw it into the mix or they do. And it's like that shouldn't really be a part of it. And so, it's as we grow older and make our own decisions and become more it makes the relationship different as we grow older. I love the bunch of bitches, but they drive me up the wall.
Thank you, Molly. I'll share something about my wife and my mother-in-law. They both live with me, so I kind of have 1.5 wives right now, out of default. And I have a really cool mother-in-law, I must admit. And this season in her life, she's 86 years old, and we know it's a season that she's going to be with us, and we're trying to enjoy the season. But let me tell you my wife's take on this whole thing. When my wife has mild CP and she doesn't move as fast, still she doesn't move as fast as the 86-year-old mother. Her mother's a dynamo. And Christine and David and Bill, I mean, y'all all know my mother-in-law. But anyway, they can be in the kitchen together. And when they're in the kitchen together, you might as well get the hell out of that house. Because, first of all, I've got to tell both sides of this story. Lynn is a very methodical cooker. She'll cook one thing and then clean. Cook, clean, cook, clean. And my mother-in-law just slaps it all out there, and it's everywhere. So first of all, they have 2 separate logic skills. So that doesn't work too well because both of them will tell each other what they think. And second of all, when my mother-in-law works around my wife, it really puts Lynn down. Because Lynn wants to do what, it's her kitchen. She and I paid for this kitchen. This old lady just living with us. Well, I mean, I love her to death. But I mean, I'm telling you the honest to God truth. This is the reality of it. So, anyway, when they get fighting, I just leave. I can't take it. I don't want to hear it. But because, I mean, we tend to do, my mother used to do this to me all the time, and it got me all upset every time. She said, I want you to go get in the car. No one else is ready. But Robert had to go get in the damn car because it took Robert extra time to get in the car. And I'm like, what the hell? Right. Preach it, baby, preach it.
I know how it goes. I mean, and oh, by the way, I could say this. For 19 years of my life, I was walking and not using the scooter. She said, well, why are you walking behind me? Come and walk next to me. Well, shit, I don't walk as fast as you. So So one time I went to a doctor and he said, you should get a scooter. And I said, no way, I can walk. What's this all about? I have CP and it's not getting worse. So, hey, I got news for you guys. I'm at the top of the pack. I'm scootering along and damn it, I like it. I'm not behind the 8 ball. And they say, well, it makes you look more disabled. Hey, it's my sit-down Segway. Hey, I'm just ahead of the game. Hey, it's my car. Well, you look, and this is classic. So I'm out in Vegas for my birthday. Mom and Dad take me and my boyfriend out to dinner, have a lovely dinner. And then I'm sitting in my scooter, and then Mom says, she looks at my legs and she says, so how's your diet going? and they paid for dinner, and so I couldn't insult her, and I said, okay, I guess. But they don't like me using the scooter. I walk well. I have lazy ass syndrome, but I use the scooter because I don't drive. They don't like it. Oh well, guess what? They didn't pay for it. And if they come to my condo and if they don't like it, I've gotten more persnickety as I've gotten older. I'm not taking their crap lying down anymore. I'm more vertical these days. And I came home from work one day, and we sat all down in the living room, another powwow. How many have we had? 1 million of these? She says, uncategorically, I think you're lazy. In my own house, when I was 30 years old, just coming home from an 8-hour workday, I said, don't you ever say that in my house. Well, your closet is a mess. Well, who pays that mortgage note? I do. If you want to contribute, then you may have some jurisdiction over that small closet. But in fairness to my mom, in fairness to all moms, in fairness to all dads, they want us, when we were born with this cerebral palsy, they didn't want it. They want us to be like everyone else. And when I walk with my arms askew, or when I'm lazy, it doesn't make her happy. And I guess I gave a sermon one time. Last sentence, I gave a sermon. So I was 19 at the time. I made her look it over because, you don't want to look like a fool at the pulpit. And Mom's a lot more older than I am, so she's wiser than I am. So she added in a sentence, I was talking about me having cerebral palsy. She said, and so their perfect baby was to be different. So every mom dreams of a perfect child. And I was different. And I think it is hard for her to... She loves me. But I mean, it's hard sometimes. And I love her a lot, but I love her.
Oh, I have no doubt. But think about this. You're talking about religion. 1 second, Christine. Think about this. We're all made in God's image. So just think about what God must look like. Because we're all made by God. So, I mean, you know what? I don't care what. I don't know how anybody defines perfect.
What?
You can't define perfect. Perfect is not definable.
Oh, come on.
No, I know what you're talking about. No.
I think, yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, but
Different. I know.
you son, did you have something to say? Okay, wait for the mic. Oh no, we don't use that word sorry here.
I feel like I am the luckiest person in the world because I have very supportive parents and my 2 brothers, one is older and one is younger. In Korea, people's attitude toward individuals with disabilities is greatly improved these days. However, when I was young, in the 70s and 80s, in Korea, parents who have children with disabilities used to hide their children from the public. However, my parents were very different. My parents brought me everywhere they went. And they always encouraged me. You can do anything. Especially if you study hard, nobody will look down on you. I was the only one student who attended in a regular school when I was in the elementary school, middle, and high school. My parents had a dilemma when I was 7 years old, whether they sent me in a regular school or in a special education school. After thinking over, they set their mind, and they decided to send me in regular school, and they were just right. Because of my parents' great support, here I am. Without their support, I cannot stand in this wonderful situation. Now, I have my own family, a husband and 2 kids. I am giving lots of love and support to each family member, just like my parents did it to me. My dad always told me that I would become a professor when I was young. I thought that was my dad's unrealistic dream. I thought, how could I teach students with my speech difficulties? I know, I cannot say even one word when I am nervous. How could I? Well, now, with small tools, which are my communication device, and PowerPoint slides, I am teaching students at the university. One sad thing. My parents and my brothers live in Korea, and I live in America. So I am always missing them. I strongly believe this common proverb. Heaven helps those who help themselves.
Thank you, Tom. That's very. We all come from different relationships. We all have different types of situations. I grew up on a farm. Owen wants to say something, but as you're going over there, I grew up on a farm, and I was made to do everything that the other children had to do. I was in the tobacco fields. I was in the pig pen. I just crawled because I couldn't walk until I was about 14, 15 years old. I didn't know until later in life. People would drive up to my dad's driveway or his truck, and people would say, you better get that boy out of that field and put him in the living room in front of a TV because you're going to ruin him. You know what? They were wrong. Because mom and dad had the wisdom beyond control. Now, I give them so much credit because I was out there with everybody, but they understood my limitation. They did not give me a tobacco knife because they wanted me to have both hands at the end of the day. So yeah. So they were realistic. I'm very proud. I drive. with my degree of cerebral palsy, I drive a vehicle. The only reason I drive is because I got to practice on the farm.